So I simply reiterate what many of the people said. I think that pedestrians and bicycles and public transit should be put first. And let me go now to the staff recommendations so that staff has a good idea of where I am. I think the fourth recommendation is where we should be going, which is number 4 says, develop recommendations for alternative transportation measures to improve the environment for pedestrians, bicycles, and public transit. I think that's right on.
John, before you pursue that line, in the interest of time, I think we should move from the council remarks to council consideration of the recommendations, and it's in that segment of the meeting that your input on the recommendations will take place. Let me take the lead on this, again, in the interest of time. I happen to agree with you that on the recommendations, we should first take a look at the developing the measures and the study for bikes, peds, and transit, because that's the other side of the triangle or square, as the case may be. And to make informed decisions about the rest of these recommendations, you're going to have to start with the information in that bike ped transit study. Is there any objection on the part of the council to that recommendation? Can we move forward on that recommendation?
Absolutely.
Everybody agree on that?
Of course.
All right. And then after that, we take points well taken.
Okay.
But Dick, you have a good point. We probably should not make hard and fast on this till we get the results of the bike ped transit study. But certainly,
That's exactly. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I totally agree with that. And my big problem with these staff recommendations is that it's basically saying, well, let's move ahead with these traffic things, and don't worry, we're going to deal with these. Well,
John, we're working through it. So, on the out-of-the-box concept, again, we would have to see. You're bringing forward the bike ped transit studies. How soon, realistically, can you present that to the council and to the public?
We'll have to talk to Nelson Nygaard about that. We have not had our kickoff meeting with them yet. That's scheduled, I believe, for next week sometime.
All right. This is a critical element of the overall picture.
We'll let them know
So
that this has to take a top priority.
All right. You're hearing from all members of council, unless I'm wrong here, that we don't want to move ahead on these recommendations until we have the other piece of the puzzle.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yes. Right.
All right.
I have one question now. With respect to the transit, how do you are they going to be making recommendations to AC Transit, or how would they be, or just how would they look at?
We'll see that when we get the other piece of the puzzle. Now, pursue the widening of Powell. Again, that has severe implications from the bike ped transit study. So we're going to have to push that thing along, doing it well. And also, I forget who asked to have the same level and depth of computer support or computer. They clearly must have that same technical ability. Now, have I left anything out of the recommendations? Take a look.
I think
the
Mayor
traffic
Davis.
impact
Just a minute,
fee?
John.
Updating the traffic impact fee?
You can't do that until you see what really is an eligible project.
Right.
But we have made real progress here today, because I think you're getting a clear sense that we want the whole picture, not just moving cars, but we're talking about moving people and people moving themselves.
Right.
So actually, the very first one, we suggest that we do additional analysis of the Fair and Piers recommendations as part of each of the big 4 projects coming forward. And I guess it's implicit from what you've said that that's obviously in conjunction with the Nelson Nygaard study.
Absolutely.
Right.
Do we all agree on that?
I totally agree. It should not be.